Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into The Great Mental Models, a thought-provoking guide to enhance your cognitive toolkit. Published in 2019, this book is a treasure trove of insight, offering readers a structured approach to improving their thinking and decision-making skills. It provides a broad sweep across various disciplines, introducing 9 foundational models that are pivotal for understanding and effectively engaging with our complex world. The brain behind this enlightening work is Shane Parrish, a former cybersecurity expert with Canada's Communications Security Establishment, better known as the CSE, a part of the Department of National Defence. Shane is the voice behind the Knowledge Project podcast and the creator of Farnham Street, an extensive online learning hub and blog that explores the realms of mental improvement and decision-making. His co-author, Rhiannon Beaubien, also boasts experience at the CSE and contributes to the rich educational content found on Farnham Street's blog. The Great Mental Models is an invaluable read for decision-makers, analysts, or anyone eager to refine their cognitive processes. Whether you're looking to bolster your analytical prowess, create more effective strategies, or simply seek to give your thinking an edge, this book is designed to set you on a path toward clearer and more effective thought patterns. Dive into this episode as we unpack the essential concepts that will empower you to make better choices and understand the world through a sharper, more informed lens. The Great Mental Models, General Thinking Concepts. Introduction. Unlock the power of your mind with essential mental models. Imagine you're standing before a vast landscape of challenges, each as unique as the tools needed to master them. Life, in all its complexity, requires a diverse set of tools to navigate with finesse. One wouldn't use a hammer for delicate electrical work, nor a scalpel for lumber. For the intricate task of decision-making, the tools required are not forged from steel or plastic, but formed in the cognitive foundries of our minds. These tools are known as mental models, key ideas, methodologies, and pieces of wisdom that help us craft a better grasp of reality and, ultimately, lead us down paths of more successful decisions. Mental models are the sculptor's chisel for the abstract block of reasoning. The more intricate and varied our mental toolkit, the more exquisite the outcomes we can carve from the stone of uncertainty. Whether faced with personal crossroads or professional quandaries, building a robust collection of mental models equips you to tackle virtually any situation with poise and clarity. You're about to embark on a journey through a curated gallery of 9 profound mental models. These are not random selections, but are instead essential cognitive instruments that have been sharpened on the whetstone of human intellect over centuries. Each model holds within it the potential to cut through the tangled underbrush of complexity, leaving a clear trail to better choices and understanding. So, what hidden gems can you expect to uncover in this exploration? You'll delve into the depths of a peculiar thought experiment by none other than Albert Einstein, which empowered him to unravel the intricacies of gravity. You'll uncover the disturbing tactics utilized by a master of manipulation in the roaring 1920s, whose understanding of the human psyche bent the will of the masses. And you'll compare the sleek incisiveness of Occam's razor with the probing discernment of Hanlon's razor, 2 distinct but equally powerful mental scalpel blades. Prepare to enrich your cognitive toolbox and become a maestro of decision-making, mastering the art of navigating life's myriad challenges. Welcome to the universe of great mental models. Part 1. Embrace the essence of complexity with the art of mental cartography. Just as an explorer sets forth with a compass and chart, we traverse the intricate terrain of life equipped with mental maps that guide our choices and actions. These tools shape our understanding and influence our decisions, much like city blueprints or the legend-soaked scrolls of a sea voyage. A mental model, at its core, is akin to a map, a distilled blueprint of a grander, more elaborate reality. The fundamental principle is this: to represent the world effectively, a map must distill reality to its most actionable components. Picture yourself navigating the serpentine passages of the London Underground. The map in your hand reduces the chaos of tunnels to clean lines and nodes that whisk you on your way. The essence of a map is a simplified representation of a complicated reality. Naturally, a true-to-scale replication of the underground would be impractical, a burdensome labyrinth on paper, lost in minute details that cloud rather than clarify your route. Such a congested illustration would overwhelm, not aid, leaving you adrift in a sea of superfluous specifics. Yet while maps condense information, it's paramount to remember that they are selective. They omit details, and while many of these omissions are trivial, those notorious nuts and bolts, others might have consequential implications. Have you ever collided with an unforeseen obstacle while engrossed in your smartphone's GPS? Or found yourself at a dead end, guided by outdated directions? These experiences are stark reminders that maps, both physical and metaphorical, require constant refinement and contextual awareness. This principle extends to abstract domains where mental models serve as our compass. Financial reports boil down complex economic activities into digestible summaries. News articles and academic treatises distill vast amounts of data into coherent narratives. Parenting guides reduce centuries of childcare wisdom into actionable advice. Each one is a map, drafted to steer us through the labyrinthine avenues of finance, academia, or family life. Just as an ancient mariner understood the winds, currents, and stars through the parchment in his hands, we must remember that mental models are starting points, not destinations. They demand our engagement, a continual recalibration to the rhythms of a dynamic world. For in the end, only by navigating with an adaptable map, acknowledging its boundaries while appreciating its guidance, can we hope to voyage through life's complexities without losing our way. Part 2. Understanding the boundaries of your expertise. Visualize the entire spectrum of human knowledge as a grand, unending expanse, with each field, each discipline, each nugget of wisdom forming its own terrain. Among these, there are certain regions, your professional expertise, your hobbies, your life experiences, where you traverse with the ease of a local. This is your circle of competence, a domain where your mastery eliminates the need for a guide. It's essential to recognize where this sphere of expertise begins and ends. Inside this favored circle, you wield your skills with confidence, meeting life's challenges with the grace of a seasoned navigator. For instance, if you're an accomplished chef, the kitchen is your realm. The tools, techniques, and ingredients dance under your command. Or you might be an ace programmer, understanding code as naturally as spoken language. However, the moment we step beyond this circle, we can feel displaced, disoriented, much like a fish finding itself on dry land. A seasoned chef might struggle to balance the books of her restaurant, just as a talented programmer could be mystified by the jargon of patent law. The engine bay of an auto might be a second home to a mechanic, but for others, it's a daunting labyrinth. It's important to accept the contours of our knowledge and engage with humility when we encounter the unfamiliar. No one can know everything, and false bravado in the face of ignorance serves no one. It's the first step toward miscalculation and error. Acknowledge where the map ends, and instead of forging into the unknown unaided, seek expertise or bolster your knowledge where needed. If numbers aren't your forte when starting a business, invite an accountant into your journey. In the same breath, keep your ambition in check. Confidence is an asset, but overestimating your circle can lead you toward perilous outcomes. Your ego might chart a course far beyond the true boundary of your competence, leaving you vulnerable, as evident by those who sought to conquer Mount Everest and now lay still amidst its icy expanse. They ventured out, misjudging their own limits against the mountain's unforgiving might. To venture wisely through life's unpredictable landscapes, Always carry with you the map of your expertise. But more importantly, never hesitate to ask for directions when you find yourself in uncharted territories. Recognizing the precise edges of your circle of competence isn't a restriction. It's a navigation tool that ensures safer travels and more fruitful destinations. Part 3. Ignite innovation with the bedrock of first principles thinking. Success in any arena of life demands more than just expertise and a deft hand in your circle of competence. It calls for a dash of originality, a stroke of genius that challenges the status quo. It's no secret. To rise above the commonplace, we must dare to think differently, to cast off the shackles of conventional wisdom, and venture into the realm of fresh possibilities. But such endeavors beg the question, how can one pioneer a path of innovation? Peel back the layers of any conundrum or discipline, burrow into its very essence, and you will strike the bedrock of first principles, the pure, undeconstructed truths that form the scaffolding of understanding. Solve problems creatively by reasoning from first principles. Picture first principles as the DNA of knowledge, the core tenets that sit at the foundation of all that we construct upon them. They're immutable and omnipresent across all fields. For the engineer striving to invent an eco-friendly refrigerator, the timeless axioms of thermodynamics provide the raw clay from which to sculpt a revolution in appliance design. First principles are not the sole province of hard science. They weave into the fabric of any domain, potent catalysts for ingenuity. Take the quest to combat the challenge of global meat consumption and its environmental toll. Traditional tactics would seek to diminish the side effects of this dietary preference, perhaps through modifications in livestock management. But could there be an entirely different approach? Digging deeper, we strike upon the simple yet deceptively powerful first principle. The essence of meat's appeal lies not in its origin, but in its sensory qualities. The flavor, the scent, the sizzle on the pan. These qualities are chemical in nature and can be replicated absent the animal, setting the stage for the creation of artificial, lab-grown meat. This radical reimagining of the problem led to a wave of innovation spanning decades, birthing an industry dedicated to sustainable meat alternatives. This kind of bottom-up problem-solving teases out the foundational factors that give rise to challenges, thereby allowing you to tackle the root rather than merely pruning the branches. And the beauty of this approach? Not only does it foster breakthrough innovation, but it purges problems from the source, preemptively disarming them before they escalate. Yet, even as we laud the virtues of first principles thinking, we must acknowledge that it is not a panacea. There are other models, other paths to creative enlightenment. Let us cast the net wider still and explore another mental framework that can set your innovative spirit alight. Part 4. Flip your problem-solving approach with the power of inversion. Ever felt like hitting a wall with conventional problem-solving methods? It's like trying to unlock a door with the wrong key. You push and twist, but it just won't budge. Enter inversion, a mental judo move that flips your strategy on its head, revealing a path to creativity and innovation where you least expect it. Develop your creative problem-solving skills further by practicing inversion. This technique turns traditional thinking on its head by encouraging you to start with the end in mind and work your way backward. It seems counterintuitive, but it's about embracing a different perspective, one that allows you to sidestep mental blocks and uncover unique solutions. Take, for instance, the bold tactician Edward Bernays, the propagandist maestro of the 1920s, who aimed to make smoking socially acceptable for women. By using the principle of inversion, Bernays flipped the script. He thought, if women smoked as commonly as men, how would society be different? He connected the dots, understanding that for women to embrace smoking, it needed to align with societal values they already cherished like independence and elegance. In a stroke of subversive genius, Bernays linked Lucky Strike cigarettes to the burgeoning women's rights movement and the timeless desire for a slender physique, branding cigarettes as indulgent substitutes for sweets and as symbols of emancipation, torches of freedom. Inversion doesn't just work forward, it's equally potent when applied in reverse. By considering the opposite of what you want to achieve, you can map the pitfalls you need to avoid. For example, if your goal is wealth, start by pondering how you would end up impoverished. Imprudent expenses, excessive borrowing, financial short-sightedness. List these financial foibles, and you've charted a cautionary guide. The don'ts that, when inverted, outline a frugal, investment-savvy blueprint leading to prosperity. Imagine your problem-solving repertoire as a canvas. Inversion is like introducing negative space, which shapes the positive in art. This technique plants the seeds for a more profound and strategic kind of reasoning, turning obstacles into stepping stones simply by approaching them from the other side. Next time you face a vexing issue, consider standing it on its head. You just might find that the solution has been there all along, merely waiting for you to view it from a different angle. Part 5. Explore the vastness of imagination with thought experiments. Armed with a treasure trove of creative tools, including first principles thinking and the art of inversion, you're now ready to put your innovative ideas to the test. But before you embark on a real-world odyssey, there's a safe, limitless playground where you can explore the viability of your concepts, the realm of thought experiments. Use thought experiments to test out your ideas and clarify your thinking. Thought experiments relinquish the constraints of the tangible world, allowing you to perform trials brimming with risk and complexity, all within the safety and silence of your mind. They require no physical materials, incur no costs, and carry no risk of real-world repercussions. A powerful alternative to practical experimentation, they enable you to investigate the unthinkable or the impractical. Consider the imaginative gravity experiment that aided Albert Einstein in formulating the general theory of relativity. He envisioned a man in an elevator, adrift in space, accelerating upward. Could this man differentiate between the pull of the elevator and the tug of Earth's gravity? Through this mental exploration, Einstein realized that our sensations could not distinguish between the two, a breakthrough insight pivotal to his groundbreaking work on gravity. Beyond such scientific inquiries, thought experiments can shine a light on our internal compass, articulating our core desires and priorities. Take the timeless question: what would you do if money were no object? While money will likely always have a bearing on our choices, discarding it from our decision-making process in a thought experiment frames our aspirations in their purest form. Suppose your internal musings reveal a longing to abandon the 9-to-5 rat race, to nourish relationships, or to strum melodies on a guitar. Each of these revelations peels back a layer of your persona, revealing what is truly important to you. This kind of introspection can be more than an intriguing cocktail conversation starter. It's a powerful mental tool that offers clarity about what truly resonates with our spirits. Real or imagined, the value of any experiment lies in its capacity to unearth truths and foster understanding. In the laboratory of your mind, armed with the wonders of hypothetical scenarios, the full expanse of your creativity is just one innovative thought experiment away. Part 6. Sharpen your decisions with the foresight of second-order thinking. Have you ever basked in the glory of a triumphant decision, only to discover a cascade of unforeseen consequences trailing behind it? From a lottery windfall to the smallest of daily choices, our actions ripple through the pond of consequence far beyond what we initially see. To truly navigate this complexity, you must embrace a dimension of thought that extends past the immediate outcomes. Second-order thinking. Engage in second-order thinking to scrutinize your decisions and bolster your arguments. This cognitive strategy invites you to consider not only the direct effects of your decisions, but also the repercussions of those effects. It's about peering into the future and asking, what happens next, and after that? Let's say a luxurious mansion becomes your new abode following a lottery jackpot. Beyond the immediate joy and grandeur lie the second-order effects, perhaps an arduous upkeep or the need for additional security. The absence of second-order thinking can lead to devastating oversight. Take the widespread use of antibiotics in agriculture. The initial goal of fostering heftier livestock was clear and straightforward, but the cascade of second-order effects was not. Antibiotic-resistant bacteria proliferated, a troublesome twist for public health. This model of thought doesn't just help avert disasters. It's equally powerful in presenting arguments for positive change. When projecting the outcomes of actions, the lens of second-order thinking reveals not only the potholes, but also the potential roads to utopia. It frames our decisions in a broader, more encompassing context. Even seemingly negative decisions can bear fruit if the second-order benefits outshine the first-order costs. Consider Mary Wollstonecraft, whose trailblazing work, A Vindication of the Rights of Woman, shaped feminist thought. She didn't only advocate for equality on moral grounds, but highlighted the second-order social benefits. Well-educated women could enhance civil society through their contributions and participatory citizenship. When faced with a decision, tap into the power of second-order thinking. Weigh the sweetness of your daily candy bar against the bitter taste of its long-term health effects. When trying to persuade others, from your manager to adopt a new perspective to your cohabitant, to try out a different way of living, outline the cascading positive effects that make your case impossible to deny. In the intricate dance of cause and effect, second-order thinking is your choreographer, forecasting moves, anticipating twirls, and ensuring that, when the music stops, you're not just a step ahead but have choreographed a masterpiece. Part 7. Make informed decisions with the lens of probabilistic thinking. In life, we often encounter a fork in the road where the paths are shrouded with uncertainty, and the specter of negative outcomes casts a long shadow on the choices ahead. The dread of second-order consequences might clutch our resolve, threatening to entangle us in indecision. To cut through this fog of uncertainty and stride forward with confidence, we must arm ourselves with probabilistic thinking. Use probabilistic thinking to weigh your decisions more precisely. This cognitive approach invites us to appraise potential outcomes, not as certainties, but as possibilities, with varying degrees of likelihood. It serves as an antidote to extreme reactions, tethering our deliberations to the sturdy ground of rationality by focusing on the probabilities of different consequences. Imagine you're navigating the seas of decision, chart in hand, and you encounter what seems like an ominous headline storm cloud. Violent crime skyrocketing. Instead of battening down the hatches and preparing for societal collapse, a probabilistic thinker would adjust the sails. You'd recall that, historically, violent crime has been in decline. With this context, the alarming headline might signal a subtle uptick rather than an apocalyptic surge, and your ship of comprehension remains steadfast. One of the pivotal tools in probabilistic thinking is Bayesian updating, a method of refining your beliefs as new information emerges, without abandoning the valuable cargo of prior knowledge. Think of it as continuously calibrating your compass. You're not discarding it with every shift in the wind, but you're ensuring it accounts for the newest currents. When the clamor of a startling headline reaches your ears, Bayesian updating steers your initial shock into thoughtful consideration, weighting it against the vast ocean of pre-existing data. A single report of skyrocketing crime might not indicate an immediate threat, but consistent reports could signal a significant change in the tides, warranting a reassessment of your travel plans. Bayesian updating is a dance, a balance between honoring the wisdom of your experiences and remaining receptive to the fresh breezes of novel insights. It prompts you not to ignore the whispers of change, but to measure them against the chorus of accumulated knowledge until a harmonious picture of reality is composed. Employ probabilistic thinking as you traverse the myriad decisions that sculpt your journey, whether assessing the risks of venturing through a city at night or gauging the impact of lifestyle choices on your health. This mindset will equip you with a sextant for gauging the probabilities, guiding you toward decisions that are not just responsive but reasoned and resilient. Part 8. When in doubt, Trust the clarity of Occam's razor. Among the tangled forest of competing theories and explanations, there exists a time-honored principle that acts as a beacon of clarity, simplifying the melee of complex reasoning into a coherent path forward. Occam's razor, an intellectual Swiss Army knife of sorts, is the tool that cuts to the heart of a quandary with a directive that champions simplicity. According to Occam's razor, the simplest of two or more equally compelling explanations is the most likely to be true. This principle emerges from the philosophical toolkit of the 14th century logician and Franciscan friar William of Ockham, and it serves a singular purpose. When faced with multiple hypotheses that adequately explain a phenomenon, the one with the fewest assumptions usually wins the race. Imagine waking up to an unexpected illness. The symptoms are ambiguous. They could hint at something as common as the flu or as rare as Ebola. How to judge the best course of action? Occam's razor slices through the uncertainty, guiding you to favor the hypothesis that demands the least leap of faith. The virtue of Occam's razor lies in its appreciation for the unlikelihood of multiple variables independently and concurrently lining up to produce an outcome. When your friend fails to attend your party without any word, while it's not outside the realm of possibility that he's met with a car accident, the cascade of events required for such a tragedy is far more complex than the simple possibility that he lost track of time. That's not to say complex explanations are inherently incorrect. Life is rife with bizarre twists of fate where the unlikely becomes reality. But in the absence of compelling evidence to tip the scales, Occam's razor advises on probability and steers us toward the least complicated inference. Returning to the conundrum of the flu versus Ebola, think of your geographical context and recent travel history. Has your neighborhood seen an Ebola outbreak? Have your recent adventures taken you into afflicted territories? Unlikely. Thus, Occam's razor would have you consider influenza the more probable culprit of your malaise. In a world brimming with complexity, Occam's razor remains a stalwart ally, insisting that the simplest answer, though not unquestionably correct, offers a starting point of utmost efficiency. When faced with the crossroads of convoluted explanations, let Occam's razor be your compass, directing you towards the clear, uncluttered path of simplicity. Part 9. When in doubt, choose simplicity over suspicion with Hanlon's razor. In a world riddled with the puzzles of human conduct, sometimes the tools for understanding natural phenomena fall a touch short when applied to our fellow beings. For these moments, when we attempt to discern the motives behind an individual's actions, we can turn to the guiding principle of Hanlon's razor, which offers a unique blend of simplicity and psychological insight. According to Hanlon's razor, the simplest and most likely explanation for misbehavior is stupidity rather than malice. Picture yourself at the wheel, the road ahead clear and calm. Abruptly, another driver barges into your lane with neither signal nor an apparent look. A rush of irritation sweeps over you, and you're on the cusp of branding the offender as spiteful. But is this the only interpretation? Hanlon's razor suggests a more benign assessment: error, sheer oversight, or miscalculation. Unlike acts shaped by malintent, which often require an intricate web of forethought, planning, and specific intentions, mistakes often ask for nothing more than a split-second lapse in judgment or a pinch of inattention. Ingredients all too common in the human experience. This isn't to say that deliberate malevolence is a myth. Rather, it's about tempering our propensity to pin malevolence as the culprit without due consideration. The reality is that we are each navigating our own path, with our own distractions and slips, and sometimes those journeys inadvertently intersect or collide with those of others. So the next time you find yourself on the receiving end of what seems like a calculated slight, whether in traffic, at work, or in the tangled threads of family drama, pause and consider the teachings of Hanlon's razor. Before conjuring theories of conspiracy or hostility, ask yourself whether a simpler explanation stands before you, grounded in human fallibility rather than a malicious agenda. Embracing Hanlon's razor is a call to exercise empathy and understanding. Rather than allowing suspicion to hold sway, step back and reflect. Could this simply be an act of human error? By adopting Hanlon's razor, you'll likely find that life's daily irritants carry less sting, and the path to forgiveness and fortitude becomes well trodden, smoothed by the footsteps of insight and patience. Final summary. The voyage through the vast seas of reality requires navigational tools tailored not only for precision, but for adaptability. Mental models are those instruments, each with singular purpose and power. By leveraging these cognitive frameworks, we equip ourselves to cut through complexity, streamline our thinking, and reach more insightful, nuanced conclusions. Final summary. While the world spins around us in intricate webs of cause and effect, mental models act as anchors, each uniquely designed to order our thoughts and inform our actions. From the simple distillation of Occam's razor to the empathic considerations of Hanlon's razor, from the long-view wisdom of second-order thinking to the probabilistic balancing act in decision-making, these models offer guidance and clarity. In deploying these models, we become cartographers of our own experiences, mapping our understanding of the vastness around us into more manageable and actionable knowledge. They are the keys to unlocking greater intellectual depth, propelling us towards wiser choices, more creative solutions, and ultimately a deeper understanding of the kaleidoscopic nature of our existence. With mental models in our toolkit, we stand ready to face the complexities of life not with trepidation, but with the poised confidence of well-equipped navigators. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.